Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 30th of spring. I'm back for one more video before we transition into summer. And today's video is gonna be a lot of numbers. We're gonna go to Gannon's and have a look at what the enchanting that we asked for yesterday is going to get for us. I went ahead and wrote down the numbers of what everything cost yesterday. You can see the sprites are here now. And we were looking at expanding the greenhouse by putting in another sunbox and another water spigot. So, starting with the water spigot, before the upgrade it cost $500,000. And it's been knocked down to $450,000. Now, you are saving some money, but it's also not a lot saved when you consider the full value of what that upgrade costs. It would be great to see a little bit more money knocked off of that amount, but it is what it is. So we get $50,000 discounted off the price of the spigots with the enchantment, and we do a little bit better with the sun box. That's a little more what I'm talking about. So the sun box at normal cost is $900,000 if you're doing the lumber yourself. And that's been decreased to $810,000. So we save almost $100,000 there. Again, one of those things where you look at the amount that these things cost and you think, oh cool, I'm saving $50,000, I'm saving $90,000. But for the amount of money that these things cost, I'm kind of surprised that the large enchantment doesn't decrease that by a little bit more. So that's just what we have to work with, and basically what that gives us is a total of $140,000 saved if we get both of these upgrades, and that makes a bit of a difference. Like I mentioned, I've got $1.5 million-ish. If I were to pay for everything up front with no enchantment, we'd be looking at about a 1.4 mil cost, and this is going to bring it down to about a 1.2 mil cost. I'm still going to be pretty broke by the time we get these upgrades up and running. So just wanted to run those numbers for everybody to give them an idea about what a large enchantment will do. We have the lumber for both of these upgrades. We're going to start with the water spigot. Doesn't really matter which one we start with because it'll be a few days before I really get to use my greenhouse. So I'm going to go back to the house. We're going to just sleep. We're going to go right into summer. And then we are going to get the second upgrade. Oh, I forgot that this cutscene takes place. Cliff is leaving, obviously, because it's the summer season. I managed to give him a couple of gifts and to talk to him throughout the season, but his friendship is really slow to increase in comparison to the other Mineral Town villagers. I don't really know why, but so we can go check out that upgrade right away if we want to just have a quick little peek. This is more or less just a quality of life upgrade more than anything. What I actually ended up doing, because I was tired of running all the way back to my farm to fill up my watering can, was I put a orange wonderful in my watering can, which increased its capacity from 50 to 100. So it can now hold 100 squares of water rather than the basic 50. And by doing that, I was able to take less trips to the farm to fill up. I wasted less time. I was able to water more of these. But this is going to save even more time because I don't have to leave the greenhouse and use up in-game time watering, and just a little bit more efficient. So this is by no means necessary. You can also, if you've got tons of orange wonderfuls, you can load up your watering can and increase your watering can's capacity by quite a bit. That's another option, just because these upgrades are quite costly, which I completely understand. But that's something that I wanted to do. And before we go back to Gannon's, we should check out our orchard. Ah, look at this. So our summer trees are now gonna give us some fruit. We've got 4 banana trees. Wow, I planted a lot of bananas. 4 banana trees, 2 peach trees, and we have 2 orange trees. I think our orange trees died before we got to really have any oranges last year, right? Yeah. So that's new. Oranges are completely new for us, which is really exciting. This will fill up our shipping log a little bit, and hopefully by the end of summer, we will have our 100 pieces of fruit shipped, and we can cross that sunstone off of our list. So that's pretty exciting. We're gonna be getting lots of fruit. I'm gonna have to water my trees and make sure that the fences have the proper amount of upkeep on them. I'm just gonna go ahead and ship these right quick. Doesn't really matter. I'm not actually saving my progress at the moment. More or less just force of habit. And then now let's go over to Gannon's and get our second upgrade. And the reason I'm doing all of this immediately right off the bat, and I'm sort of rushing to do it even though I have a week, is because summer is gonna be a little bit of a rough start for us. As I was playing ahead and trying to do things like chart the weather and kind of do some preparation for the start of summer, I realized that we're gonna start the summer off with a double typhoon. So Tarot is warning us that there's a typhoon tomorrow. I'm gonna leave the animals out again because I'm not saving my progress, so don't worry about them. They will be properly taken care of when I actually go through and play legitimately for real. So I'm just going to sort of go to bed and sleep through the typhoons so we can see the next greenhouse upgrade. But a double typhoon is pretty brutal because that already puts us a few days behind on crops. I didn't see the point in planting everything on the first day of summer because we were going to have a double typhoon, and there's a really good chance that the ground would be destroyed and the seeds would be lost. And we also have to consider the fact that there's going to be a lot of stuff in our field as well. I'm not looking forward to what our field is going to look like. And because it's a double typhoon, saving and reloading might not benefit me like it normally does. Normally I can just reload if I don't like the results of the typhoon, but it's a little bit difficult to do when there's two of them back to back. So there you have it. We're starting off summer at a bit of a disadvantage. We're already probably going to be 4 or 5 days behind. And yeah, the field is a mess. Fortunately, I've got some good wonderfuls at hand. I can put another blue and red in my sickle. I could pretty quickly clear out all of these weeds. And if I get too lazy to actually take care of these stones and these branches, what I can do is I can just pick them up, put them in my inventory to clear them out of the way, and then break them down later for materials. But yeah, you can see that this is very, very messy. I've lost a lot of the wheat that I have here. Boulders just come crashing right into the middle of the field. I am honestly completely shocked that this is intact. This is rare, that there's nothing in disrupting my grass. And obviously you can see here, if I speak to the animals, leaving them out in that double storm was pretty cruel. We've got one animal that's sick. We've got one animal, two animals that are in a bad mood, and then you've got two animals that are grouchy, which means basically that they are very much on the cusp of getting sick. So yeah, obviously I'm not gonna be that person to let them sit outside. They're gonna be unhappy anyways because I have no way of feeding them when there's two storms back to back. But at the very least, we can keep them protected, keep them out of the weather. So obviously I'll go back and fix that, and then yeah, I'm gonna have to spend today clearing out the field, getting everything tilled, and then hopefully actually being able to plant some stuff. I knew my luck was too good to be true in the springtime. Now rice is completely bulletproof. Nothing whatsoever seems to affect rice. It just keeps growing. It's just keeping on, so I have no issues with rice. That is all totally perfect. And fortunately, we did have enough protection on our trees that they all survived, which I was a little bit worried about. I've got golden lumber fences around most of them, but there are still a few regular fences as well, and you can see that they've been completely destroyed. So that would be the time when I would replace those with golden lumber fences. And of course, everything in the greenhouse is fine, completely protected against storms, and the yams have come in, which is fantastic. So what I'm most likely going to do is I'm gonna harvest these yams. I'm going to get rid of them, and with the additional sun box that I have here, it allows me to get 2 points of sun every single day in the greenhouse as opposed to just the one. One doesn't get you very far. It's kind of limits what you can grow in here if you want to grow things in any sort of timely manner whatsoever. I picked yams because they don't need a lot of sunshine, they don't need a lot of water. They are absolutely perfect if you have a beginner's greenhouse. But what I want to do is I want to be able to grow more pumpkins, and it is the summer season, so I can grow pumpkins outside, but I do want to be able to grow more inside the greenhouse as well. Pumpkins are the last crop in the summertime that we have not shipped 100 of, and being able to ship 100 of these would give us access to another grain type of a crop. I don't remember if it's soybeans or buckwheat, but either or we'll have access to some more seeds if we manage to ship 100 pumpkins. Growing pumpkins are also a good thing for us to do because it's actually the crop that we need to take part in the crop festival at the end of this month. Pumpkins, I always feel, are one of the harder ones to grow. They take a very, very long time, and I have a difficult time getting the quality of the pumpkins increased. So this might be another situation where it's gonna come awfully close in whether or not we'll have a good enough pumpkin to enter into the crop festival at the end of the month. But just to give you an idea of how game-changing it is to have a secondary sunbox in here, if we look at the case of pumpkins, if we were following the minimal sun, if we were following the minimal sun requirements in order to be able to grow pumpkins, it would need a total of 41 points of sun to get from a seed all the way to a fully grown pumpkin. So you are looking at essentially 41 days to grow pumpkins inside of this greenhouse, which is insane. That is a very, very long time to wait for a few measly pumpkins. With the secondary sunbox, it knocks down that total to 21 days if everything goes right and you're able to come in here and give it water. So it's still gonna take a long time to grow pumpkins, but if I plant them now, we'll have pumpkins ready for the crop festival, I hope, and we'll also have lots of pumpkins to ship in order to bypass the 100 goal that I would like to make. Additionally, like I said, there are ways I can get more pumpkins out faster. Obviously, I can grow them in this season, so I can just plant them, and hopefully they'll grow faster outside with the sunshine and whatnot, but it will depend on what the weather is gonna do. It might decide to give me lots of cloudy weather or another couple of typhoons, because why not? And if we look at Chen's list of crops for this month, just as a refresher, we have tomatoes, corn, onions, and pumpkins. Now, I will probably just grow pumpkins, to be honest. It's gonna mean I'm not gonna make a lot of money this season because pumpkins just take forever, but I would really like to be able to grow and ship 100 of them. And I don't need any of these really. I could grow more. I'll probably look at what's in my fridge and determine whether I need to grow more in order to cook some recipes, and whether or not I want to go through the effort of growing some more crops. So it'll be a surprise when I do an update again once everything's actually in my field growing what I've decided to grow. The sprites are still here. This is probably their last day or their second to last day, but I can't afford anything else. I'm pretty broke at this point. I'm now left with $290,000. So I blew through $1 million+ just like that. I will double check this because I'm just kind of doing this from memory, but I do believe we can add one more sunbox. I think you can have a max of 3, which would make sense because obviously if you were growing things outdoors, the maximum amount of sun that you would have in one day would be 3. So it may be possible for us to add an additional sunbox later on down the line, and that would help us to grow things even faster. Depending on the circumstance, there are some crops where too much sunshine would kill them. So that's that. Obviously, I've got to rewind time and play through the last couple of days properly. But let's have a quick look at the calendar. Summer is a very busy season. There's a lot going on. We actually are only a couple of days away from our chicken festival, which is exciting. That is something that we should be able to win by default. We've got 2 chickens that are at 10 hearts, so we'll enter our chicken and see what sort of prize we're going to get from that. We have our cooking festival the following week. I actually haven't checked to see what the theme is, so I have no idea what we're going to be cooking, but it'll be worth a shot. We may or may not be able to win that, depending on what the category is. We have our cat festival at the 18th day of summer. I have started to let the cat outdoors more to increase its affection, and I have actually been attempting to play the mini game a little bit because I knew that this festival was coming up, but I'm still terrible at it. So I doubt that we'll be able to win that, but it might be worth trying. We might be able to fail less than we did last year at the very least. And then lastly, we have the crop festival, and I did mention previously that the pumpkin will be the theme, and it'll be interesting to see if I'm able to grow some good pumpkins by the end of the season. Oh, and then there's also the fishing contest, the dreaded fishing contest, which I completely forgot about. We may or may not be able to win that, which will probably depend entirely on what the ducks can bring us. I will probably lean on the ducks once again to hopefully bring me a prize-winning fish. At this point, my fishing level is so high that I probably could catch my own. So yeah, summer definitely has the most festivals of any season. And the only festival that we're going to skip out on, of course, is the fireworks festival because there's nothing to win. But we do have the potential here to win 5 Wonderfuls. And I hope that the good luck we had last month with the Wonderfuls can continue on, because I would love that. That would be awesome. I'm going to play for a couple of days, and on the 7th day of summer, I will be back for our chicken festival. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.